This is one of the most terrifying crafts that has ever existed in the world. But believe it or not, it's slowly fading away with time. Welcome back, everyone. Here today we are going to be taking a look at some of the scariest tools ever made by mankind and how they are redisappearing into obscurity. As we already know, humanity has crafted some truly nightmarish creations in its time. From the guillotine to the Iron Maiden, many of these tools of torment have been immortalized in art and film. However, there are other torture devices so disturbing that only a few people even know of their existence. Today, we're going to take a gander at just a few of these scary old crafts and find out why they've been forgotten over time. Scaphism, also known as the traitor's death or the boat's death, was an ancient Persian method of execution dating back to 900 BC. The victim was first stripped naked and then sewn up in a boat along with a mouse, some milk, honey, and fruit. The idea was that the prisoner would consume the food and drink the milk and honey until his bladder and bowels ruptured, killing him. He managed to survive that. The mouse would eventually gnaw on the corpse after it died. This form of capital punishment was used during the Achaemenid Empire, which ruled from 550 to 330 BC and encompassed parts of modern-day Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Central Asia, and Eastern Greece. It was supposedly employed on Greek prisoners taken during the Greco-Persian Wars, particularly those who had profaned the sacred fire of Zoroaster. In the first book of Maccabees, there is an account of a Jewish high priest named Onyez, the righteous, being offered up the choice between death by scaphism or death by drowning. He chose scaphism and reportedly survived for 8 days before succumbing to the gruesome fate. Being entombed alive might sound like something straight out of a horror movie, but it's actually something that has happened to real people throughout history. Perhaps the most famous example of this is the Empress of China, Wu Zetian, who reigned from 624 to 705 AD, according to legend. When she was near death, her officials bribed their way into her tomb and sealed it while she was still alive. This ensured that no one could share in her power when she died, and that her legacy would remain intact. There are also many cases of accidental entombment throughout Chinese history, as well as throughout many others. For example, in 1968, a man in India was accidentally buried alive by his own son and grandson. They had intended to bury their neighbor and got the wrong body. In 2010, a woman in China woke up in her coffin after having been buried alive for 3 days. These stories are all terrifying and serve as a reminder of just how close we came to losing these important pieces of history. Luckily, all of these people were eventually rescued and are alive today. Imagine being burned alive, trapped inside a metal box, with nothing to do but watch the flames approach you from all sides. Well, unfortunately, many people don't have to imagine this scenario because it has happened to them. One of the most famous examples of someone being burned alive is George Marshall, who was burned at the stake for witchcraft in 1647. There are also many cases of people being burned alive for different reasons throughout history. For example, in 1934, a young girl in Germany named Maria Dollens was burned alive by Nazis because they believed she was a witch. These stories are all tragic and serve as a reminder of the horrors that people have endured throughout history. But what does it feel like to be burned alive? Well, according to those who have survived the ordeal, it can be incredibly painful and terrifying. Those who have been burned alive often describe feeling excruciating pain as their skin is scorched and their flesh is cooked. They may also experience respiratory damage from inhaling smoke and flames. Some people have even gone blind from the experience. Those who have survived being burned alive often suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder and have to deal with the physical and emotional scars of their experience for the rest of their lives. Swaddling is a technique used to wrap up a baby tightly in a blanket or cloth. This practice has been around for centuries and was once very common. However, swaddling is now fading away as it can be dangerous for infants. When a baby is swaddled too tightly, it can restrict their movement and make it difficult for them to breathe. Additionally, swaddling has been linked to an increased risk of hip dysplasia and other developmental problems. Despite these risks, some parents still prefer to swaddle their babies, as it can soothe them and help them feel more secure. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to swaddle is up to the parents. However, it's important to be aware of the potential dangers and to swaddle safely if you choose to do so. Bloodletting was a popular medical practice in which blood was withdrawn from the body in order to cure or prevent illness or disease. The theory behind bloodletting was that by removing the bad blood, the body would be able to heal itself. Bloodletting was used to treat a variety of ailments, including headaches, fevers, and even mental illness. One of the most common methods of bloodletting was leeching, which involved attaching leeches to the skin in order to suck out the blood. Other methods included scarification, which was the process of making cuts or scratches on the skin, and cupping, which was the process of placing cups on the skin and creating suction. Despite its popularity, there is no scientific evidence to support the use of bloodletting. In fact, bloodletting can be dangerous and even fatal. By removing blood from the body, you can reduce the amount of oxygen and nutrients that are available to the body's tissues. This can lead to weakness, fatigue, and even organ failure. Despite the risks, bloodletting was used for centuries and only became unpopular in the 19th century, when modern medicine began to take hold. Today, bloodletting is rarely used, but there are still a few practitioners who believe in its efficacy. Hypnosis is a state of focused attention and heightened suggestibility. It's been used for centuries for a variety of purposes, including entertainment, therapy, and even military training. One of the most popular uses of hypnosis is in the realm of entertainment. Hypnotists often use hypnosis to put on shows in which they amaze audiences by controlling the actions of their subjects. Hypnotists may also use hypnosis to help people overcome phobias and other psychological issues. In recent years, hypnosis has also been used as a tool for law enforcement. Law enforcement officials have used hypnosis to help them remember details of traumatic events and to help them identify suspects. Purgation is a medical procedure used to remove unwanted substances from the body. It can be done through a variety of methods, including vomiting, laxatives, and enemas. Purgation was commonly used in the past to treat a variety of illnesses and conditions. For example, it was often used to treat constipation, which is a condition in which the intestines are unable to pass waste. Purgation was also used to treat more serious conditions, such as poisoning. In some cases, purgation was used as a form of punishment. For example, in the Ottoman Empire, prisoners could be forced to drink a substance called elidunum, which caused them to vomit and have diarrhea. Today, purgation is rarely used. There are a variety of safe and effective treatments available for most conditions that were treated with purgation in the past. In addition, forcing someone to undergo purgation without their consent is considered a form of torture and is illegal under international law. Now it's your turn. Which of these crafts scared you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up for more great content.
Thanks for watching. We hope to see you in the next video.